What time they coming for?
I told them 7:30. I think a lot of times because I don't want to just throw people in the mix. So if they come in at 7:30, I can ease them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Exactly.
This is one time. Oh, as soon as
Damn
you
right.
perfect time.
Because I
You
had
tell
one
me.
this weekend. I think I had an orgasm this weekend. Yeah. Just saying.
Thank you for sharing.
It's probably why I'm a bit vibrant. Y'all had an orgasm this week?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you act like you had to think about it. Oh, yeah.
Having one right now.
I'm thinking of
We are going live in
my 50
5,
Thompson.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1, and you are on.
Good evening, everyone. You are listening to the Intimacy Chronicles. Hello, my YouTubers and Facebookers. I'm so glad to have Kimberly back with us again this week. Always value your input. And tonight we have an exciting show, but before we get to that, I'm going to let my man to the right introduce himself.
The man to the right. Hello, folks. Hello. It's Richard, also known as Quiet Storm. Y'all out there in YouTube land, Instagram land, and Facebook land, greetings. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a great show tonight.
All right.
All right.
I like that.
And you want to, I always have to remind you to make the next introduction.
And to my man to my right, behind the scenes, Mr. Sensational,
The Invisible Man.
the Invisible Man.
He's going to be with us for about 30 minutes or so.
I mean, he
I'm
works with
speaking
his
it
own,
into existence.
I'm speaking about
You know.
45 seconds.
He works with his own theme music.
Hi, Marvin. We have Marvin joining us tonight.
Yeah, the
Marvin
legend.
had a successful event last week.
The legend. What's up, man?
Kenneth Trusty, thank you.
Thank you.
So I gotta give a shout out to Dr. Love. He's still incapacitated, so we're keeping him in our prayers and wish for a speedy recovery.
Get better soon, brother.
Get better soon. Tonight's show,
Did he get injured during the bedroom
he
Olympics?
got an ear infection now.
Oh, okay. Probably
He
some-
might have. See, you know what the problem is? He was doing too much of that tea bagging.
Bedroom Olympics. There you
Shots
go.
fired.
Shade.
Shade, definitely. Tonight's show, we're going to have the co-founders of Watts Production, Mr. Brandon Thompson and Ty Thompson. They'll be joining us at 7:30. They have a lot of film projects on the horizon. They've done a few commercials for McDonald's and Doritos. But before they come, this topic here has been gnawing at me. I want to talk about the Bill Cosby verdict and what you all think about it. And here's my 1.5 cents on that.
Okay.
I believe if he's guilty, he should serve time. But if he's serving time, are we going to make the president serve time for grabbing pussies? Are we going to make Weinstein serve time for the accusations against him? Who else? Are we going to make who's appointed to the Supreme Court right now? Kavanaugh? Is it
He's not in there yet.
He's not in there yet. But is he going to be held accountable for what he's done also? I feel like, I'm not saying that Bill Cosby didn't do anything wrong.
What about that young
And Woody
boy
Allen. Let's not forget Woody Allen.
Woody Allen.
You know.
Yeah, him. What about that young boy that raped the older lady and only got 6 months probation?
Was that in Virginia? Is it that happened in Virginia?
That sounds.
But he was
right.
white.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so the elephant in the room is this. We know that the rules are different to us.
Absolutely.
However, this man is in his 80s and he's going to jail. Now, what I thought was because of the length of time since it happened, shouldn't he have probably gotten house arrest? I'm just asking, I'm throwing this out there because the reality of it is the people that I just named, they are not going to jail for the crimes that they've committed. And they've verbally mentioned that, especially Trump, oh yeah, if you got a little money, they'll let you grab their pussy.
You know, also, didn't he pay a settlement or something to this lady that
I believe so. And he still is getting jail time.
I mean, that doesn't make it legal.
It doesn't make it legal, but I guess too, I'm not going to say that he shouldn't get punished. Because, listen, you set out to do harm. Regardless as to these women coming into your room certain hours of the night, you got a fetish, man. And that fetish is you like to drug them in order to take the punani.
You know what? Didn't CeeLo Green get a charge of some sort like that? And he just kind of quietly got.
Right, I was going to say, they didn't.
He was accused. I don't know if he got
Exactly.
charged. But I just noticed they kind of let him off the voice and right after that.
Right. Yeah,
kinda.
it was quiet. But this man was prosecuted in the media before he even went to court.
Because he is a threat.
And that's what it always comes down to. When we are a threat, and before I get to that, we have to understand we can't play the same rules. You know, we might, because Bill was running with Hugh Hefner and Richard Pryor. They were hanging out at the mansion. You can't get away with the same things that they can. But I think that when we are going after something bigger, everything that we've ever done in the past comes to the forefront. And I believe Bill had a big deal on the table with a major network.
He was trying to buy.
Right. And so that's when all these allegations started coming out.
Well, you know, that's also around the time that his son got killed, too.
Right.
Mysteriously, that by some Russian guy.
Right.
Disappeared.
Right. And I think with us, the black community, when they come after our people, we leave them hanging. We don't rally behind them. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what y'all think. You know, we kind of do our own bashing of people when they are faced with certain charges.
It's you know, it's kind of hard to rally to a certain extent behind the impetus of this charge. I mean,
I agree.
He did something that, because we have this crazy, semi-disgusting dichotomy of this guy, you know, being an incredible philanthropist throughout his life. Mm-hmm. You know, he's educated so many children. You know, I grew up on, you know, the Cosby Kid. You know, the whole everything. Mm-hmm. And he has this secret, dark thing of drugging women. So now we have an issue. It's like, can do all the things he's done that's positive, does that erase the sins that he's committed?
It doesn't, but with everything that he's done to help many people, it will be erased in a sense because he's going to jail.
His legacy has been erased.
Exactly. So would the same thing happen to a Donald Trump?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Well,
but
it's hard to say because this not a simple thing because it's levels to this because you have someone who's been tried in the media before the trial, but he did have a trial, and you're comparing. My thing is, I was hoping that it wasn't true, but I believe in due process, right? Mm-hmm. And if he did it, shame on him. He should
Absolutely,
serve time.
I agree.
Because you're talking about drugging women, and you're not talking about forcing somebody, like Weinstein, forcing somebody into consensual sex by pressuring them. You're talking here and you take a sip and you wake up with a D in your mouth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He stole it.
Yeah,
he stole it.
You know what I'm saying? That's another level, and then you bring in Trump, who was accused of third-degree assault at best when he said he would grab him by the pussy. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about rape first degree rape, premeditated rape,
That's the
consensual.
difference.
You know what I mean? It's
Sexual
different
assault and
levels.
you have rape.
It's different levels, and I
mean,
think
as much as I can't stand Trump,
and if somebody
Yeah, but wasn't
who's-
he also accused of rape of a 13-year-old?
who's that?
Trump.
he has been
Right.
Yeah.
There's no.
And he still was able to become president. So
Oh yeah, that's
But again,
Yeah.
it's still you still got to go.
it
through
does.
due
It says a
process.
lot about our justice system.
Yes.
Yeah. Kimberly says he is no different than any other person that did the same crime, but they are all free and he is in jail. And I will have to agree with you 100%. The only difference is his color.
I think I want to see somebody before, and I'm not doubting that's true, but I want to see somebody who did the same thing as Bill Cosby, where like there's doctors who put women under anesthesia, and there was a doctor at Hopkins who was sedating women.
He did, but I believe he killed
He
himself.
killed himself.
Yeah,
You see
he
what I'm
took
saying?
himself
That's the
out.
level. That's
Yeah.
the level of what Bill Cosby was doing. He's sedating somebody, and
That's
it's
pretty
just-
sinister.
That really is. That's a
Man,
different kind of predator.
And the women that took him to, these are black women. You see what I'm saying? You know, if these are black women who he assaulted. So,
Not all.
Yeah.
yeah, but the ones who went to trial and testified against him. So what about their stories and what about? I mean, they're the victims, you know, in a sense. And I know, and it may be there's an element to this where some men get away with certain things that other men don't because of their race. But in this situation, it's hard for me to. I love Bill Cosby and I was a big fan, you know, and he did a lot of great things and gave a lot of money. But I'm still thinking about this as you know.
Yeah, I believe if he's guilty, yes, he has to
Apparently
serve time.
he's guilty, you know.
Okay, well, but I think that
And if he would have
could
bought the
there have
network,
been?
and if he would have bought the network, he would have still been carrying on that same kind of behavior as a leader of the network. You know,
He'd have been Weinstein.
It's I don't know. It's
But again, when we talk about Weinstein, what's going on with that?
hopefully he will get his day too.
Yeah, but and again, he didn't
It's
steal
not.
it.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
different
I think
levels.
Bill, I have to say he has a problem. You know, it seems perhaps that's the only way he could enjoy sex. I don't know. But I think
pretty
that's a
sick.
different type of predator.
Yeah, that's
And I would also have to say that his wife had to have known.
She
Because
is
some of
complicit
these-
to a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly.
She
And
put a
some of
blind eye
these,
to a lot of that.
right,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
women, you can't.
But you're a woman, and so how can
Mhm.
you turn a blind eye when you know this is going on? Because some of these attacks took place in their home.
But your
Yeah.
first impulse as a woman is to defend your husband. Look at Julie Chen, that from the talk.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her husband recently. I mean, she went earlier this year and vouched for him, and then more stuff came out, and she had to kind of, you know, not all women know, you know, but sometimes you do not turn a blind eye. You just want to believe the man that you
wanna-
love, that
exactly.
you known since y'all were teenagers.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know,
But
he's
you're a
out fathering
woman.
other kids. And,
Yeah.
and all, he has a string of things that many that we know, many that we will never know.
Right.
Can I read
So
some of my
I'm
comments?
sure she's got.
Yeah, because they kind of got away from me. But
Okay.
go back to Kimberly when she talked about Emmett Till.
Okay, Kimberly said the woman. First Kimberly started off saying he's no different than any other person that did the same crime, but they are all free and in jail. But like I said, I want to see somebody who did the same crime to that level before I would make a decision. You know, that's just me. Also, Kimberly said the woman that lied about Emmett Till admitting the truth is still free and should be in jail. Absolutely.
I
But
Yeah.
you're talking about a different
Absolutely.
era.
Yeah,
And we actually agree that's a gross travesty of justice right
exactly. But there have been many after that. The woman that, she killed her kids or something and said it was a black man.
there. Yeah,
One from
You know,
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are many crimes against us, and I'm not excusing Bill Cosby, nor am I excusing Camille, because again, she had some knowledge about these attacks.
She did.
And
Okay.
as a woman,
I didn't follow the trial that close to know what.
yeah,
you know,
because some of
what
these
it
took place in the home. As a woman, I understand being married, but you have daughters.
is. Yeah, man.
So, put yourself aside, set yourself aside from being the wife. You're a mother, you're a woman, and it could have been one of your girls.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, let's think about that too. Now, I'm like this. He did say that he admitted drugging women.
He did.
And so I'm like, if you do that, you need to get that time.
Yeah.
Honestly, now if he
But he
was a
needs
younger
help.
man,
You know,
but if he was a younger man, would you say 3 to 10 is too much, or you think that's not enough?
would it just be the time? Because if you're going to jail, are you being rehabilitated? Because there's an issue here. He's going to jail, but is anybody getting him help? He's just going to jail. And I think that when we look at situations like that, there's an issue going on mentally.
Well, that's true, but he's
So,
81 years old. There's nothing that's going to change.
That's
for that
in
man.
that particular case, you're right.
It's a
But
wrap.
perhaps people that knew about it probably back then should have gotten him help.
Those
Because
people
he
should-
openly bragged about this.
Yes, and I
it
think
was in
he,
his comic routine,
Exactly.
too.
So
Besides being-
again, why didn't anybody step forward and get him help then?
Because
because
Jackie,
he's Bill Cosby.
it's the
And
it
that's
was the-
and that's another thing. Because you're a celebrity, it doesn't excuse you from your crime.
Why didn't somebody stop, Mike from
I don't
the
think
drugs,
it's-
or why didn't somebody say, Prince, don't take those painkillers? You know what I'm saying? They're celebrities. They're
Well,
gonna
there
do
it's the
probably
era.
were people that did that, but they weren't listening.
I think it's the era of the time. You're
Yeah.
talking about the 80s, the 70s. Women quite frankly, women did not have the same voice and the same empowerment when it comes to these types of issues
True.
that they have today.
That's
they
true.
they don't.
And it's
And
the damn
it's
truth.
funny because I'm looking at the Kavanaugh hearings, and I'm looking at all of this stuff, and women are the majority right now
Of course.
in this country.
Mhm.
And whether we have the good old boy network and all this stuff, women could get together and influence the change that we need.
And
Of
they're
course.
doing that,
Because
And we're,
particularly
that's
the Democratic
Should.
exactly,
But
exactly.
But it was so sad. 2 years ago, we couldn't even get behind Hillary together as a group of women. Y'all are the majority.
I don't think
Well,
it
she
was
had
that
some
we
other
couldn't get
issues.
exactly. She lied about something so. I think people begin to realize if you lied about this, what else are you going to lie about in order to get this seat?
What the old people say, if you lie, you cheat, you steal.
Yeah.
But it's
So I think that she had the momentum, and actually, by the popular vote, she won.
Yeah.
I know.
So
but
they rallied behind her, but I think also the election was taken.
Yeah, that was true too. But you
Yeah.
know what the thing is? People had a lukewarm relationship with Hillary.
Right.
You couldn't deny her credibility,
Exactly.
her intelligence. That's undeniable.
Yeah.
But they were like, she's good, but
It
I'm
was
not
just
really
something
feeling
that you
her.
couldn't exactly,
And now
because
you
I
read the
felt the
tweets.
same way.
I follow her on Twitter, and now you read her tweets, all the stuff that's going on now. She goes, "Yeah, but my emails though."
But I never even cared about the emails.
Exactly.
You
I'm
know,
like,
that
is she
wasn't
going
an
to do a
issue.
good job?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think she would do an excellent job.
Oh, definitely.
But unfortunately, even now it's gotten to the point that even the presidency is like a TV show.
It really
It's
is.
a
It's a
popularity
reality
contest.
show. He's used to being in reality
If
TV,
you're
and that's how he
famous,
runs the country.
It was such a respected, no matter what, whether you agree about it, there was a level of respect that the office got.
Absolutely.
Now
Now
it's
it's a
until
joke.
now.
It's,
Now
yeah.
it's not even. It's
It's
like.
like any fool with a lot of
Could we look
Twitter
back?
fans.
Remember, we used to look back at George Bush II and thought he was the biggest dope.
Mhm.
Now he's looking reverent.
Yeah,
Compared to
yeah.
the-
He wasn't that bad
And
again.
when McCain was running against Obama, he looked like a crazy man.
But he
And
was
now he's
smart.
He was a
smart
compared.
man.
But I'm saying it's about comparison compared to what we got now.
He just had an idiot candidate.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. But it's a level of respect. And the thing about it, who was it? Speaker of the House, or was it Newt Gingrich? He had
Oh, jeez.
he had a shady book deal
Uh-huh.
that kept him from being appointed to the Speaker of the House or something.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't even trend on Twitter now.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's different eras. So getting back to what you were saying, why didn't women do things back then? Because it was a different time. And
I
it
mean,
was,
I'm not
different
this.
levels of.
I'm not, because that was such a long time ago, and no one would be able to come out and say Bill Cosby, you know, molested me or raped me because of who
Yes,
he
valid,
was.
yes.
Yeah, women, it was different back then, and men thought it was their rite of passage to violate us. Um, so women didn't have the voice that they have now. And going back to, if we're talking about, let's talk about the Mike Tyson incident. He didn't
Wait.
drug her.
Which one?
Desiree.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that particular case, he got jail time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to this man's room 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, are you all going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs? Aren't you going there? You're looking to meet Mike Tyson or hang out with Mike Tyson. I'm not going to say that it's expected, but what I am going to say, you knew goddamn well you wasn't going to that room to watch TV at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You're going to this man's hotel room. Let's be realistic about this.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have to go and see. This is weird. This is a weird thing we're doing right now.
Yeah, it is.
Because that we still have to respect the fact that the no means no.
I'm not taking that away. I'm not saying that.
It's just,
but
even
it's
when we got
like,
to the disagreement about the clothes, okay, if you're walking with your ass half out, that still doesn't mean it's an open pass to grab it.
I agree with
there's
that.
certain things. Was she wrong? Did she use bad judgment? Absolutely.
And that's my point. She used bad judgment.
Was bad judgment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was set up.
And I believe that too.
You ever seen when he got out of jail and he did an interview and they was recalling it and he was still angry. He said he wished he would have raped the bitch.
Yeah, see.
You see what I mean? So he that situation was.
Look at Tupac. He went to jail for getting some head in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the rules are different again when it comes to us. And
I agree. And you know what the problem I have with Bill is, as much as I enjoyed him, he needs to go. He's guilty. If that was one of my family or something.
That's the thing, to brag about that.
I don't know about bragging, but like I said, like you said, if it was one of my girls, one of my family, somebody, that shit ain't right. You don't have to.
I gotta look in from that perspective.
Yeah.
Somebody's
same
family.
thing with pedophiles. Same thing with molesters, child molesters. I mean, find some grown pussy. Gosh,
that's always my thing, but then when it comes to the other side, they say it's a mental issue. When it's us, it's straight up rape.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think he should go to jail. Okay?
Yeah, because he admitted to doing it.
My problem is not with his time. My problem is with the lack of time for people doing equal or worse crimes.
But who did something equal? Tell me that. Let's start with that.
Let me get. We're going to do some research.
In the
research department.
And let's do a comparison about it.
Because that's what I want to see. Because that's what the if somebody does something equal or more, they should be right in there with him, not him getting less.
What's the guy? The billionaire, Andrew something. Oh my God, what is his name? He was the date rape guy. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
You talking about the one that got caught in Mexico? He was like in a family, it's like in one of those rich families, like the Vanderbilts or something like that.
Something like that. He was the date rape guy, though.
The date rape guy. Yeah, my thing is, like I said, if there was a situation where, somebody did the same thing, I don't think Bill Cosby should get anything less than what he got. I think all of them should be right in there at the same time.
I do agree. The problem is that there's equal. The judge has a certain amount of levity that he can give into sentencing someone. And if that's something they particularly have a problem with, you got problems, Governor.
Andrew Luster, Kimberly. Thank
you,
Kimberly.
There we go. Andrew, there we go.
So I haven't So who is Andrew Luster exactly?
He was what's the family? Andrew Luster was.
Luster, that's what his name was. Yeah.
The heir to Max Factor.
That's what it was.
Right. Thank you, Kimberly. Come on in. So you can sit over there because you're going to be on the microphone too.
Yeah, but if you're in there, you can get on camera.
Oh yeah. So what was? I don't know all the details, but I think he was the date rape guy.
Yeah, Kimberly's our crack research person. Thank you, Kimberly, for your She was on it.
Did he get time or did he kill himself or something?
Didn't Dog the Bounty Hunter catch him? That's what made him famous, I think.
Okay, maybe.
He went down to Mexico and got him.
I remember he went to Mexico.
I think
so. He was a date rape guy. He was Who were his victims?
He was just a rich guy that was taking it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he left out the country. He had the resources.
Right.
He got caught up.
Yeah. So like I said, I think just Bill Cosby. He got his time.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody doing that kind of stuff, in my opinion, you're talking about drugging someone. You're not talking about consensual sex. You're not talking about what Trump describes as grabbing them by the pussy, which is third-degree assault.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, you talking to somebody and you waking up, with a penis in your mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, what? I mean,
Let me decide that I want the penis in my mouth.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Weinstein where you forcing them and she's like, no, I don't want to. All right, I will.
Yeah.
You're talking about, hey, how are you doing? My name is Bill, and you wake up like you're paying your drawers. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And it's like, I don't know. That's some top of the line. So if you find somebody who is not of color,
yes,
who did the same thing, I wanna, and he got off, then I'm gonna be upset. But Bill Cosby, it was heartbreaking. He's a big fan. I mean, me and him go back since Fat Albert and the Cosby Kid. Little Bill, when he was writing them children's books, my kids grew up on that. So damn, this is effed up.
Okay, so Luster's sentenced to 50 years, 48 years for the rapes, and 2 years for the drug-related charges.
So
Okay.
48 years.
Yeah.
And he's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Andrew Luster. Y'all remember hearing about him?
Yeah, that Mr. Sensational.
Nah, I ain't.
Yeah, he was the heir to Max Factor. He was considered the date rape guy.
Oh.
Yeah, they did a Lifetime movie on him. Well, Bill is not going to get a Lifetime movie, and that's another thing. These guys commit these crimes, and when they are of white persuasion, they get a Lifetime movie about them.
Well,
The cop,
maybe
they're not going to do
BET.
that with Bill.
Maybe he'll get
BET
BET.
is not even going to
TV
tarnish their reputation by doing that. I feel like when they are Caucasian, they get rewarded because they're able to tell their story. They get a movie. Some of them go on the big screen. Some of them go to Lifetime. So I can assure you, Bill is not getting any of that unless Watts Production decide to tell his story.
Nah, I'm leave it alone. Talk later.
I don't know, man. Let's say.
It'd be a great story, though.
It would be a great story because he has a hell of a legacy.
What's the purpose of media? To tell a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily matter what you believe.
Right.
And say, hey, this man want to tell his side of the story.
Right.
And they can tell young girls what to look out for.
Exactly. So yeah.
I'll never take a drink. I don't take a drink from nobody. I don't take a drink from nobody.
You gotta be careful because people have their own motives, you know.
Yeah.
And
remember back in the day when we used to, we used to smoke weed back in the day. Everybody used to pass it, but I don't smoke, but I don't even trust what they smoking.
But look at the hookahs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't clean those things. It's bacteria all in it. Exactly.
Look at your lips.
Exactly.
What are we doing?
No. And then the guy who rolling the weed, he always got to be rolling like this.
Yeah.
Remember that? All the saliva.
And you don't know what he just got finished doing, you know?
Right. Keep that one.
I'm like, why he got to roll with me?
Right. He
Right.
don't roll it. He don't roll it. Let him
Tongue all white, you know?
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, you ain't get that on film,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You can't put your drink down and walk away from it and think that it's going to be okay, because people have their own motives.
Strange world.
It's a very strange world, and I feel like what type of person gets off on that? You know, oh, I'm going to slip something in this person's drink. You don't know the effects that it would cause that person.
Well, remember we did a show about fetishes? And that's a fetish.
Right,
know?
and that's what I was saying about Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
that was his
like
fetish.
And it's not like he couldn't get the booty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People was probably giving it to him, but that act of cat and mouse game, hunted.
It was a turn on.
That's what
Yeah,
turned on.
it was a
predator,
turn
always
on.
a predator.
Yeah, exactly. And it
It's
doesn't
the thrill.
really matter.
It's the thrill.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not about the sex. It's that thrill.
It's the thrill. He can have anybody he wants, but that's not the turn on to him.
I think it was somewhat a part of Bill, like in the sense of saying like Bill, from what I hear, is a very controlling person.
Right.
Very controlling. Power trip on all his shows. He's hands on with everything.
Exactly.
From everybody that worked for him, they know that he's like on point with all his projects. And I think from the thing of the slipping and the drinking during the winter, I think it's a control thing, because again, like you said, he could pay any woman off to do what he want to do.
Exactly.
But I think it was just that sickness of I can control you, I can do what I want to do and get away with it, basically.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
point.
Right.
So
That's
I
a
think
good
that
point.
was I think it's a characteristic trait in him.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah, it's a little
enjoyed
sick.
it. If it came easy, he had to be in full control.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Now, what do you guys think about this comment? One of our listeners said, we're not going to remember Bill Cosby's legacy. Thank you to Antonio for sending this out. But we're not going to remember Bill Cosby's legacy. We're only going to remember these charges and the fact that he went to jail. Do you think that's fair?
No. Yeah.
Because
It would be a
no matter what he
travesty
did,
if that's the case.
No matter what he done, it's still the Cosby Show still made. You know,
I mean, he
What about his donations to these schools?
yeah.
He helped a
HBCUs.
lot of
That's-
people. I don't think that
Not
should be
giving that money
forgotten.
back.
Yeah.
Of course
Oh,
not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
And they took his degree.
Yeah,
Which I don't think it
right,
had
yeah.
How
anything
was
to
that
do
possible?
with. But they did.
Ain't that crazy?
It's crazy that they could do that to us.
If you earn a degree, whether it's honorary or not, it's
got it.
yours for life.
Right.
But they took his degree.
So that trivializes the fact that you
And
get
he
an
donated a
honorary
lot of money to that institution.
Right.
Yeah, he did a lot.
Can't.
NAACP. I mean, he's been like a very key point in black uplifting and businesses and movies. How he helped what's the Van Peebles helped get his stuff off the
Right.
ground. Like he's helped a lot of people who needed him to get their projects off the ground, especially in the film industry. So
He did a lot of
it's
good.
And do you think that's the trade-off for his sickness? I'm going to donate my money. I'm going to help all these people because
No, I
in
that
my
don't give him
mind,
the
it
freedom.
doesn't give him the right,
Right, yeah.
but perhaps, I mean, somebody that's a control freak like that, maybe in some twisted way, he might have thought that he was purging his sins by helping others.
I think it's in him to help others. Like that's
Yeah.
just how he is. I just think that
What he doing,
for what he did,
Yeah,
it's another story.
exactly,
And
When
exactly.
the lights go off, it's a whole nother
yeah,
story.
and it's a
Yeah.
little, it's sick to me. It's a little sick.
It
because,
is,
because
yeah.
to me it's like I get a rise off a woman throwing the attraction back. Like if you
Right.
throwing it back at me with the flirting, then I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'm into it. But if I gotta drug you and you just a dead body just laying there and I just take
Yeah.
advantage of you, and that to me that's a little sick.
It's
That's
sick,
sick.
yeah.
That is sick. Like that's
It is.
And if that's
some
the
issues
only
right
way
there.
you can get off, then you really had some problems that you
Right.
never got
Right.
treatment for.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta-
Maybe something happened to him.
Yeah,
Remember,
That's
these,
true.
these people are like geniuses, you know, artistic.
Right.
They're high driven. Everything is extreme.
mm-hmm.
You know, for him to be that successful in that era, we talking about the '60s. You know, where it was just him and Sidney Poitier do Uptown Saturday Night. You know, them, you know, where we didn't have that many.
Absolutely.
So of course he could have got away with a lot of stuff because he was one of the chosen ones. But for you you got to realize some of these people that we mentioned, Trump, Weinstein, all these guys, they're like, we're taking. I mean, we might have these little fetishes, like, yeah, girl, I might like your toes, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but
there's limits, right?
There's limits, exactly.
But there ain't no limits to these guys because they so extreme. So maybe that's what.
Plus, it's also growing up in different worlds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like how I'm gonna make an example. Like we was in Los Angeles, like maybe back in February, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we out there, and me and my brother, we at this party, and we just chilling, and this fine young lady that was sitting at the table with us, we all talking, and out of nowhere she go, right in front of us, and it was normal.
Yeah.
It was normal.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, me and my brother freaked out. I'm like, what did she just do? I'm like, what she just do? And you can see like the residue and stuff. And she was a big time lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And my cousin who out, he does well out there in acting. He's like I would say like a C-list. He jumped. He got little cameos over there on TV and stuff like that and movies. And he told me
that's the norm.
Yeah,
that's the norm.
And when you hear about these parties back when, I know we joke about the Rick James story.
Yeah, but the mansion parties,
I'm good friends with Michael Collier, the comedian, right?
Okay.
And I seen him on a Breakfast Club interview because he been clean for 9 years, doing hard drugs. And he said, man, I was 70s, man. He was like, look, you had a good time, and he like, I'm not promoting drugs, but that's just what it was.
That went along with that lifestyle.
The sex, the drugs, all that stuff, and it's just like, it's sad that, people get caught up in that.
And that's for a lot, it's like the only way that they can have a good time and fit in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have a good time. I think
that's extreme. I mean, for us, like for me coming up, let me tell y'all, I smoked a joint at 13. That with pink champagne. I went on a trip.
Champagne.
Like, I went into the wrong house. Don't fucking judge me.
That's a ripple.
So, but because of that, it was enough for me not to ever want to smoke again. So, I mean, like, I actually went inside the wrong house. And the neighbor's house that I went into was like, God, what the hell are you doing in here? And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. So from that, I'm glad I had that experience because I never smoked weed after that. So for me, it was like one and done.
See, that's good. I never say never, but the thing about it is when you're in that environment day in and day out where, if they're just doing lines and then and the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on the weekends, it's like you're in that environment so much. Who's to say we might, do something like that?
It's actually, you're right about that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Because, I mean, and that's what's funny why Bernie Mac was like, I live in Chicago. And he was like, well, how often do you go? He said, no, I live in Chicago. I don't go out there.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do out there.
That's what they do.
And he was like, no, I'm not. That's what they do.
Right.
It's Los Angeles is a strange
when
place.
you go Hollywood, you have to have, I think you have to be a very strong person in order to, because it'll eat a lot of people up.
It's and back to what he was saying about Harvey Weinstein, like, you got people who chase their dreams. But guess what? That ceiling's gonna come, and then Harvey gonna meet you.
Right.
And he gonna say, you want this role?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's wicked. It's wicked. Like,
it's wicked.
It's wicked. Like, it's scary. I mean, I can tell y'all some things, but I can't. But I mean, it's scary.
It's very scary.
You know
I mean, listening to the story that Corey Feldman and Corey Haim told
I read his book
with Charlie Sheen.
It's terrible.
It was horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when you send your children out there, it's also the parents' responsibility to be more hands-on and not entrust. These are your most precious gifts.
Absolutely.
Why are you going to entrust them to somebody else? Is it just for money?
And that's what Corey Feldman said. Corey Feldman, when I read his book, his mother sent him out
there.
Right,
because I saw the movie.
Well, it's Asian. You know what I'm saying? And he don't have any protection out there. He's a baby. He's like,
right.
Like
they were getting high and everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
He the scariest thing he said in that book that just was frightening. He said that he took a picture with all the top Hollywood execs, and in that picture it was like 7 of them and him at like 13, and
wow.
you didn't know they was passing him around.
See, I
You know,
didn't
like,
know that, but I knew about
sick,
Charlie.
man.
Yeah.
And that just was like frightening. And then they used the drugs to escape that.
Exactly.
And that's why Corey Haim overdosed and died, because he got it the worst. He got it worse than Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
And he ended up just couldn't take it no more.
Yeah.
You know? It's
That's a different monster in itself. You know,
Right.
it's really scary. And you know, I think that there are some people that are willing to go that far to make it, but then some people are like forced into
Right.
it. Like these 2 kids that we're discussing, they were forced into it with no protection.
Right.
Right. And what do you do? If
What
your
do you do?
parents just send you out
Right.
there and they're entrusting you
Right.
in the hands of these people, because I'm sure these people put some money in their hands. So you're saying that's all your kid is worth, you know, I'll let you stay with them. And meanwhile, they're being introduced to drugs, they've been
Yep.
sexually molested.
Yep.
And when they're not working, like I remember one scene in the movie, Feldman wasn't working, and his mom thought it was something that he did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have anybody to turn to but each other.
Yeah. She was abusive too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She wanted to make sure the money
Yeah.
kept coming.
And the crazy part about it, it's the agents that do it.
Yeah.
The agents go out and find talent, and then all the agents do is sell the family on all these dreams. And the mother be like, she can't take off work, she working.
Yeah.
So she can't go nowhere. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have your son doing this. He gonna make $500,000 doing this, and they promise him all these dreams. So they let them go. Like, yeah, go ahead, go with him. And they don't know. that
It's
they're
sad.
kids. Yeah,
It's
it is.
really sad. Let
It
me
is.
say hi to a couple of folks. Hi, Cecil.
Merle.
Who else? Rochelle, Ashley. I appreciate y'all joining me. Bridget. Tonight joining us is the co-founders of Watts Production,
Yeah.
Brandon Thompson, Tay Thompson. So they're going to be talking to us about what they have coming up, because, you know, Richard and I can go all night talking about the injustices of the world. So we're going to kind of have a little bit of fun and let them tell us about Watts Production and the projects that they have coming.
Yes, indeed. Well, Watts Productions, of course, is stands for We Own Things to Succeed. Me and my brother started it. It started actually from him, to be honest. He started it, him and our good friend Kirby, who's a cinematographer, and they were just messing around. They just started messing around.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even in the picture yet. You know what I'm saying? They started messing around. They came out with the first episode of Torture, which was rough, but they came out with it, right? I saw the talent. I said, man, we need to run with this.
Mm-hmm.
We all linked up, got together, started shooting, and kept shooting, and then, you know, got the buzz. He can pretty much tell you more about how.
Yeah, it all really stemmed from music. Like I used to rhyme real heavy and do a lot of storytelling on the rap stuff, and I was working at FedEx truck driving, and I don't think and my man Kirby, which is a great cinematographer from Baltimore. This dude he's making big moves.
Okay.
And it really took him to hear one song that I've written called Torture, about a dude that dies every day, but come to find out he already in hell. And he was like, man, you need to write a screenplay and do that. So he gave me the book and said, I read it, learned how to write a script for it, and then we shot it. And then that's when my brother comes like, man, you know what, we should probably just stretch it out and make it a series. Of course, we went to California. I let my cousin Derek, who was out there, and we kind of was like picking his brain on how to do it. And then he was under, what's the guy, Gino Brooks.
And to elaborate what he's saying, like to be honest, I thought to myself, thinking small, I was saying to myself, what's the chances Hollywood gonna let us in? You know, so that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
But then when we went out to LA, you know, with my cousin Derek Green, who's acting, he's in the, if y'all ever see this Icy Hot commercial with Shaq, and they playing basketball in the background, he got a red shirt on.
Okay.
You the one that go for the layup and the back start hurting.
You don't got over $100,000 in residuals. Ain't gave me a check yet, but you know. But nah, I'm just playing. But when we went out there, he introduced us to all of these black folks doing the independent route. and we seen black folks who was winning film festivals and winning all type of things and writer awards and all type of things that I thought you had to be in Hollywood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you see the indie part and see all these people making all this money, that's what first opened our eyes. We met this great director named Gino Brooks out there, and he showed us and was telling us giving us all this knowledge. We came back to Baltimore and just went to work.
He's like, we can do the same thing.
Went to work.
That they did.
Yep, and now we built this up to, we got a total of 7 episodes of the web series Torture, which we got signed to a network called New TV. They was under the Roku umbrella. Roku television umbrella, right? And now New TV just signed a broadcasting deal in Atlanta. So now Torture will be showed on cable TV in Atlanta now.
That's great.
Starting out, and then it would be LA, then New York, and this and that. So lot of great opportunities with that. You want to elaborate on something?
No, I guess to touch on Torture. It's real Baltimore, just all in and out, but it's really based on, I call it Torture because it's based on like maybe 6 or 7 characters dealing with that inner torture, that inner struggle that they're dealing with every day. And we all got people we can relate to that go through that. So of course when people see it, they think it's wild, some hood type shit. It's really none of that. I'm sorry.
No, we can come.
Because you good?
Did you just hear me earlier?
Right. So when you see it, first a lot of people say they think it's just your average Baltimore hood drama, but then when they really look at it, they like, damn. Oh, y'all touching on one character is a guy coming back from the military dealing with PTSD, and him fighting. We show him fighting through those battles and trying to get acclimated with life and society. And he also finds out that his twin brother got murdered as well, coming back home and trying to just deal with those struggles. I show you the struggles.
Suicide.
Yeah, suicide.
So we touched on, and like a year or 2 ago, I read in the paper that over the military was committing like 22 suicides a day. It was serious. Right. So when that episode aired, a lot of people from the Army, from the military, was contacting us and was telling us, was thanking us for shedding light on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that story don't get told on the media. Right. So you seen the movie Crash? Remember that movie Crash? That
was that Terrence Howard?
Ludacris and all them was in it. And you had all them different stories.
Right.
And they came together one at the end.
Right.
That's what Torture is.
Yeah.
So it's everybody who you got a teenage, you got a woman who's dealing with teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
You got a soldier who's dealing with post-traumatic stress. You got a couple guys. One dude is dealing with the streets, but he wants to get out and go to school.
So we show him going on job interviews. We show him getting turned down once they. Well, why is we saw you been locked up, and when you get hit with those questions, and you see how he's just kind of like, oh man, it's another job being turned down. So we just showing like that struggle, like damn, like everybody. But I did put the suspense to it because I didn't want it to be like a everyday episode of Good Times where you just depressed and you just like, everybody just right, yeah, exactly, like everybody's struggling. So we do give you that suspense like a power where you don't know who's pulling the strings and doing slick stuff and all that too. So that's what makes it also interesting as well. But I feel like when people see it, they want to see these characters and be like, oh, I can relate to that. Well, I know somebody going through that. Well, I've been through that. You know what I'm saying? So it's deeper. It's so deeper than what it really is when people watch it.
Yeah, so you have something for everybody to relate to, which is good.
Absolutely.
It's been a great journey. It's been a great journey.
It's been rough.
I never would have well, yeah.
It's been rough. It's been rough.
With Torture, believe it or not. I'm not gonna lie to you. Believe it or not, we had the joy of Torture was having real street dudes.
Right.
Taking their time to practice their lines.
Okay.
These real street dudes, but they came to work every day knowing their stuff. So they had to be in the mirror at home, like,
and it meant something to them.
You know you want these numbers.
That was my joint.
You know you want rub your balls.
That was my joint.
Something to look forward to, and that's what makes a difference.
All of them was proud to show their neighborhood what they did with their mother or their fathers or whatever. And it was now the flip side of it was in the middle of shooting, some of them got locked up.
You had to keep changing the
So we
story
had,
up.
so the script had to be changed up. We had to
It
wait
was
till somebody.
crazy.
And to be honest, the last guy, I mean, one of the main guys that everybody loved,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's doing fair time right now. But
Yeah.
the last 3 scenes we shot
Mhm.
was at his house because he couldn't leave. He
Oh,
had an
wow.
ankle bracelet on, so he
Right.
couldn't leave. So we
Wow.
had to curtail that around.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the name? So
I had to change the
But y'all
story
made
up.
it work.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no
that's
doubt,
what I'm
no doubt.
I had to literally
No doubt.
change the story up of him getting locked up. And the thing is,
Okay.
he told me, he said, "Terry, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got locked up. I'm going down. So however you want to rewrite the script, you better do it before they kick it in." So I had to literally shoot him getting locked up,
Okay.
and then put it in the story when he was on house arrest, and then shoot it like that. And the thing is, we had to go that route because it was like a lot of people involved in that city, actors. When we first started doing this, they get real diva like, "I don't know if I can do this. My manager won't let. I got."
Oh wow.
They really did. So
Wow.
that's what made me get to the point of saying, I'm done. I'm asking people that I know, that support me, that love me, that really want to, that just doing it for a favor for us.
Right.
And they ended up liking it. They ended up being really good at it. And I was like, you know what? And that's what worked for us. You know what I'm saying? But I got tired of like asking people who really do acting when they come to it. It's
Right.
well, I don't. I'm talking to my manager. I don't really play roles like that. And I'm like, am I getting paid? And I'm like, all right, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
it's
but
been
it worked
great.
out for the best. It
Yeah,
worked out for the
it
best.
did.
That's good.
It's been a great thing. And the sad part about it was the networks called me up probably like last year, and they was like, "Who was that guy?" Talking about the guy who was on house arrest.
Okay.
And when I told them, they was like,
Right.
locked up. They love this
Wow.
character.
Yeah, he's
They
an
love
awesome
this
actor.
character, and that was a kid that we gave opportunity to who didn't have anything. He probably from Annapolis or something,
Yeah,
right?
from Annapolis.
So
moved to
he was from
Baltimore.
Annapolis. He came, got hooked up on the street stuff,
Mhm.
and he really didn't have no support.
Okay.
So when we gave him that, it was like a lifeline for him.
He took it super
And
serious.
then he got caught up again. And I was like, oh,
Right.
but it's been great though.
But it's great to hear that you're willing to give everyday
You have
people
to.
an
You have to.
opportunity.
That's
Yeah.
that's
And
our
that's-
whole goal. That's our whole goal.
yeah.
People ask me all the time. I say, "Are you serious? You ready? You want? You want it? You want it? You got it." And they be like, "I'm like,
Right.
stop playing. Come on,
Right,
with it."
right.
And that's what we do because for Baltimore, what we want to do is we want to keep employing people in this city
Mm-hmm.
because everybody in the world won't see you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
take your opportunity and make it blossom.
Yeah.
You never know. That's the thing
That's
about this
true.
game.
Yes,
You will never
yes.
know.
Yes.
And the thing about Baltimore as a location, man, it can mimic any place in this
That's
in
true.
the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Right.
any urban. I mean, how many films that are supposed to be in DC?
Absolutely.
Shot here, yeah.
shot
They love it here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They love
Yeah,
it here.
Right.
They
It's like
absolutely.
love it.
different scenes you could definitely put in.
Baltimore is a beautiful city. You can
It
shoot
is.
so many different places, so many different background of art and stuff that we didn't just scout locations we didn't did. We're like, we want to shoot there, let's shoot there, and then it ends up being a real dope scene. So, because this city is beautiful, man. There's a lot of
yeah.
art here for real, and when you film it, you capture it, and you see it on film. It's like, damn, all right. Somebody I didn't know that was there. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and we do it. Sometimes we put the metaphors behind it of what's on the scene that's capturing or correlation with what's going on and everything. So it's been fun. You doing
What are some of them hidden treasures in Baltimore, like as far as scenes that we may not know about?
up and down Pennsylvania Avenue, up and down there.
Graffiti Alley.
Yeah, Graffiti Alley's
Falls
one.
Point area. You
What's
got,
graffiti
Yes,
alley?
yeah.
y'all ever seen graffiti?
Oh,
It's right around the corner.
Yeah,
It's right around the corner. It's a famous alley that got
nothing but graffiti on there. Yeah.
nothing
Oh,
but
wow.
beautiful graffiti.
Okay.
It's in the alley, a couple blocks down.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple
What,
blocks down.
Calvert?
Don't you know how you
South
come
Park.
over North Avenue? You come over North Avenue from the west side. As soon as you get over this side,
Howard Street.
it's the first light. You make a left, and then you make a right down the alley.
Yeah, you gotta make a
Everybody
quick
go
break,
there.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody goes there to shoot
Graffiti and stuff,
videos
right.
and
Okay.
things, photo shoots and stuff like that. And of course, you got pretty much Canton.
Yeah, we
Belleville,
Yeah,
You got Federal Hill.
yeah.
You got, Baltimore is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lot of spots.
And everybody who's not from here loves ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, huh?
They probably appreciate it more than some of us
They
do.
do.
Yeah.
Well, they don't go into the spots that they don't need to go into.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't, it's a beautiful city.
And we get love everywhere. We even went shot in McCullough homes. We been shot everywhere, and we get nothing but love.
Everybody loves
it's kind of like
us.
they look at us, and then when they see the act, they be like, "Damn, that was good." They're like, "Hold up, y'all."
Can I get a roll?
Yeah, can I walk past the camera or something?
Can I get a roll?
You know, they look at it and like, "Damn, y'all really taking this serious. Like they really acting." And they end up just eating it up. I get a few numbers. Hey man, if you're interested, call me. And we just kind of network it out like that.
And our message, not to talk you guys heads off, but our message is, you know, the sky's the limit. It truly is. Even with this show, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes one person
That's true.
to come on,
Yeah.
and you got that exclusive interview.
Right.
Now we had a podcast a year ago, but our friend who was running it, Mike Cooley, he ended up moving to North Carolina.
Okay.
But what we did, what I told him we should do was to target all of the artists that we grew up off of.
Okay.
The ones that's not relevant like that no more, but they will take any publicity.
Right.
So we had like Smith and Wesson. We had who else? We had Positive K. We had who else? I had
Old school.
You know, Big Daddy Kane always good for
Kane. All of them. no lie. Yo, Jackie, I am not lying.
I heard him doing some
serious?
stuff. He was like,
Absolutely.
call Big Daddy Kane. I was like, you can call him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Instagram
right.
them. I swear, Instagram them.
God.
Bring him on the show.
Yep.
They'll probably do it.
Instagram them, and it's a
That was my
direct,
guy
it's a
back in the day.
direct, straight shoot to them, and they don't reply. It take a couple of days, but they'll be like, "All right, well, what time is the show?"
Okay.
And then I'll be like,
You'd be surprised.
"Yeah, you'd be shocked. You're like, oh, he coming on." I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that's what we represent. It's
This Marquis is like in Colombia, ain't he?
Yeah, he lives in Colombia.
yeah, I saw him on the highway.
Yeah,
I
you
saw him
always see him
He
out
riding
and
a black
about.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Black Tesla. Don't
I saw him
hurt my man.
I saw him at the arts festival. There was a crowd of people. He came out of the crowd. He was like,
Don't he look crazy?
oh,
I love him.
I said, what's up, man? I said, I'm a big fan.
That's how he is. He be like,
yeah, to see him in age. But one thing I got a quick question for you guys. Now, the concept about you having where someone you got different people and they're like reliving, like you saying like dying every day or something.
Well, it's like they're in a struggle. So you're seeing we're giving you the beginning and the transition of them either making it out or not making it out, and it's just the reality of it.
Now it seems like that storyline seems like it's an endless well of material.
It is.
It'll never run out.
It'll never run out.
runs out.
And on top of that, you can identify with any of them characters.
Yeah,
Any of them. I don't care what you.
Yeah.
I don't care what. You know. I don't care what your life like.
Right.
If you should be able to look at one and be like, oh, here's a little bit of me in there, or that is my life. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It touches the lives.
Because you can have more. It's almost like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can never stop.
That's true.
Because it
There's
deals
a
with
lot of
it deals with
material.
everyday life
Yeah.
and everyday
Right.
struggle.
And it's
So
always
you know.
something. You could switch and get something the topic for the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think something like that in like another situation like barbershop. If you do a show in a barbershop, you'll get daily stuff every day.
Absolutely.
Right.
Material never run out.
Material
That's what Ice Cube did. Yeah. It never run out.
Right.
It would never run out. And his budget was small for that movie. Well, I'm saying he didn't have to pay that much money because he shot most of it at the himself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's beautiful. If you can shoot a
Just so
film,
many stories.
yes. If you can capture a whole bunch of stories in one setting, like a barbershop, it cuts down on costs.
Yeah.
Cuts down on
So
costs.
was that purposely done, or was that it was like a happy surprise?
That was because it really just was the song that I wrote, and I stopped it from there, and then it was like, well, damn, how can you continue that to making it a whole line? And then my man Fast, he kind of came up like, well, Tay, you can talk about everybody's struggle, everybody going through something, and I was like, damn, you got a point. And then that's when I just started like connecting the dots, where I was like, all right, well, let me just trace it from the dude getting murdered to his brother being the guy from the military dealing with PTSD and coming home finding that out, and then related to one of the characters is a dope fiend that's trying to get clean, and I show you the struggle with him trying to get clean. But I also wanted to show that when people who like to judge a book by its cover too, like they see when they see like somebody that's a dope fiend or whatever, they just look at them like, ugh. But not knowing that these are people that have did some impactful things. And we show that in there of one of the characters. He tells you like, man, I graduated from cop and he done great things, but just took a turn for the worse with drugs. And everything went downhill for him. And I think some people forget that they were impactful people that are talented, that are nice people. They just made the wrong decision. So I'm showing you every character out there where you're going to be like, man, my uncle was like that. My pops was like that. Like everybody has these issues, and then not just showing it, but showing how they get through it, how they trying to find a solution to like get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's the challenge of it every day, along with the suspense, along with the drama, along with even certain characters. One of my characters, DJ, he also rhymes too. I kind of show his inner torches, just greed. Just somebody that just, I gotta have it. And got that urge to be like, I gotta be the man. And don't even know that's like an inner thing that you battle every day. Where you feel like, I gotta have anybody that's making it, I gotta take what he got. You know what I'm saying? And him even having somebody trying to tell him, you know, one of his friends, the character, tell him like, man, it is enough. Like, can you just, nah, I can't. Like, I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? So you dealing with all these characters with these inner issues. And you'll see the struggles how they get through it, and some of them don't, and it just is what it is.
So you got awesome setup. So my question, so where does I know they say if you could write a rap, you could write a screenplay.
Right.
Obviously, you know, I always just thought I never really. Obviously, that's true because but also you got the passion. I see, right?
Oh yeah.
So what fuels that?
The passion.
Yeah. First you gotta understand the format. You know, like you know, a lot of us you can write like he's a hell of a writer. Like, hell of a writer. But when we went out to Los Angeles, my cousin Shayla, she works on Queen Sugar, what's the Greatest Showman, a little bit of Empire. She's there. You know, she's working. So just to give a quick story, they're actually trying to groom her to be the next black upcoming director. Right? So, excellent. And that's Angela Bassett and them. Angela Bassett is a good friend of hers and them is trying to groom her. Loretta Devine, all of them. They're trying to groom her. So she called us and was like, let's go. You know, so we flew out there and, you know, but when we flew out there, she was schooling Tay on, you have to have the right format. You know, so you can think you can write a script and be like, but you have to have a great format and you have to have an elevator pitch. Because when they ask you to tell us about your film, you have to have you better tell them in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Wow.
If it's over that, they're kicking you out the room. They don't want to hit. So a lot of people ask me, you know, about the script writing. First of all, like my brother, he started teaching himself. He did the research. He found out how to write a script, you know, learning how to write one. And then once you figure out how to write one, then you need to know the format. And then, you know, I know he probably can elevate.
But the format, I mean, that's I think, the format is that's the professional way of getting it out there. I'm going to say that, it took me, even when I did music, I had to listen to the great rappers. I had to listen to Jay, listen to how their cadence was, their delivery was, and then at the same time say, how can I come up with a way that nobody's doing it the way I want to do it? Because that's the way you got to look at it now. You got to have some type of originality, authenticity that nobody has ever done. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, when I hear other people come up with good movie ideas, and I kind of say, damn, somebody already kind of did something like that. It don't catch me by surprise. But when I hear something that somebody did that had me like, damn, I kind of get mad, like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Because that nobody has never did that. And if I hear something that nobody's never done, I'm like, bro, you got a hit. Like that's a hot song, that's a hot film, that's whatever it is. 'Cause I've never heard nobody do it that way. And I build myself on just being original, like finding anything I can be like, nobody has never shot this before. You know what I'm saying? It's ever done it, never wanted to. Even with Torture, and I looked at like The Wire, The Corner. I looked at a lot of stuff that was in the same line as what I'm doing, and I was like, well, damn, how can I separate mine from everybody's, where they can just be like, damn, it's kind of like that, but it's not like that. He's going in a different area with his material, and to separate myself from everybody, and that's the way. I mean, that just comes from, you know, getting it also comes from the creativity, like mastering that creativity, separating yourself, and then you put it in the format the way it's got to be professional, where people can look at it and say, okay, this is professionally written, it's professionally typed up.
They'll kick you out quick.
You know what I mean?
Come in professional, like everybody on that level, time is everything. I swear, time. Y'all know time is money, yo.
Yeah.
So if you get to their desk, well, they take a time on their schedule for you, you better pitch something in a minute and a half. You better pitch it, and if you don't, they're gonna say, remember, they're gonna buzz.
Right. I mean, even
show them to the door.
Even thinking about Shayla, like my cousin Shayla, who we just talking about, I came up with like 6 movie ideas she shot down. They ain't gonna work. They ain't gonna work. That's not it. Wow. They ain't gonna work. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, ain't nobody never did this before. It's like, nah, it's not gonna work. I need this, I need that. And then I'm kind of like, then I came up with one, which me and her all working on something big. Came up, and I
can't talk about it, but it's
but it's what she wanted from me was something I've never done, and I had to do my whole like.
He wrote a hell of a script.
I'm saying, I'm not gonna go on about what I did, but I was saying the same line of like classic movies, like Usual Suspects, Den of Thieves, those type of things. And I was like, well, then how can I come up with this drama, suspense, thriller that she's looking for? And then I kind of came up with one, and she was like, that's it. Tighten that up. Let's get that to me, and then we'll go from there. And I've never written anything like that. And I always challenge myself, even with music and film, because even with the Torture, we got the McCracken Show, which is a comedy show, and I was like, I want to also help, because I ain't gonna lie, Baltimore got some good comics. I ain't gonna lie, they got, you go to some of these rough spots, they be killing it. I mean, they got good material. Shout out to my man Chris McCracken, who is the star of the show, D-Lo, Wild Bill, who else is out there? Dude named Snow, Alex. I mean, it's a group of comedians that I was looking like, yo, how can I find a way to put a show together, to put these comedians on a platform to really showcase their talent and put it in the storyline. And that was the whole purpose of me doing it. And I came up with the concept, and I was like, damn. And we having such a good time, because from shooting Torture, it's like drama, and some of it's sad, and you just be like, oh man. But doing the McCracken Show is hilarious. I mean, it's hard for us to stop laughing.
We gotta say cut probably like 5 times.
Because
and our camera man be like looking at
go
us.
in the room. Go in the room. Get out. Go in the room.
We be literally like,
it is like super hilarious.
It's fun.
And it's going to that show. It's called the McCracken Show, and it's based on my man Chris McCracken. He's a substitute teacher / plumber that wants to be a comedian.
Wow.
So and he also just broke up from his girlfriend for 4 years, but he wants to live the single life. But what makes it funny is that he's like the Al Bundy of dates. So all the blind dates he go on, it just goes bad. Everything goes totally bad.
Until he realized
what he had is right there.
What he had.
So we just
always
thinking the grass is greener.
Right.
Until you realize, I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah. So we show you his journey, man, and I'm talking. It is the funniest, hilarious. To me, I felt like I wanted to bring that. Because I'm not comparing it to like a Martin or nothing, but we missing something like that. A lot of the black comedy shows, they on for a year, 2, 3 years,
That's true.
and they take it straight off. And I'm just like I'm thinking like, why is it nothing able to stay on there? You know what I mean? And and I don't know if it could be, you know, politics behind or money, finances or whatever. But I know as I watch these shows, and I was watching Martin and all those things to develop my show. And I was like, well, how can I make mine different from everybody else? Because nobody's doing it. And I got to come up with the concepts of this character going through all this stuff that nobody has ever seen. I mean, I'm talking crazy dates, crazy like situations where you'll be like, what the hell? But he brings it to life by him being a comedian. He takes it to another level.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? And we improvise like crazy. Like, we let him do his thing. So, but it was something different that we just like, let's try something different on the comedy tip. Yeah. And we did, you know what I'm saying? So. You
ever find yourself like so excited about a screenplay or a concept you writing and you have to slow yourself down to let it develop?
Nah, not really. To me, it's it's just like you can't, like, you know, musicians can't force music.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, it's sometimes I done woke up at 2 in the morning and I'm like, yo, I gotta get this idea.
Yeah.
And I will be jotting that down for 3-4 hours, knowing I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. But I know right then and there at that time, I gotta get it out right then and there.
Right.
So it's always a feeling, but I know if I start forcing it, it's gonna be whack. It's gonna be like, man, this ain't that funny. This ain't that good. You know, I'm trying to force a joke in there, and it's not
And it
working.
doesn't work.
You know what I'm saying? And it sound phony. And then when I walk away from it, I could be at work and the joke pop up in my head like, God damn, I got it. And I'm ready to. So I start typing it at work like, oh, I got it, and I'll fit it right in. And also I've been working with Chris also, like just being on my Paul Mooney tip, how Paul Mooney was the Richard Pryor, like writing up jokes, coming up with concepts, and he just takes it and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna turn it this way, twist it that way. And just having fun with it because I never tried it before.
Okay.
I did do stand up one time at it was more like an all white crowd.
I wish I saw it.
And actually I did.
Back like boo.
But I actually did pretty good. It's just it is different with an all black cast.
Yeah,
But an all black
sure.
crowd, you gotta trim the joke. You gotta trim it. It can't be long winded. It gotta be straight to the point.
Right.
Black folks ain't got time to wait for a joke.
Yeah.
You gotta come right in on it. But it was an experience. I wasn't even supposed to perform. My man Chris McCracken was supposed to perform. He didn't make it, so the guy kind of had a fit because nobody couldn't fill a slot in. So I said, nah, I'll do it. He was like, you sure? I'm like, nah. Let me go up there and do it. I'll do it. I'll just take one of these. I'll just take one of these stories that I got and I'll throw it right in there.
Oh my
and
God,
make it
you
happen.
got booed.
I would have been there, like, no, it's fun, y'all. Like I said, the main thing we do entrepreneurship, and we give opportunity to everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we it's a rough city. It's a lot of talent
It
here,
is.
but
So
I
much
think they
talent.
don't know how to apply it. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't know which way to go. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
so if you like, it's a lot of them that we give opportunity to, and then they get that buzz. They be like, yo, I love
They
it.
want more scenes.
They
more
want-
shots.
yeah.
Put me in more. Put me in more.
Yeah.
And that excitement from that rough life they live means everything. You know, it just brightens up. That it gives them a reason to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them are very just dedicated. Like I got
And
shot.
they come from some hard situations.
Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Wild Bill is a white comedian, probably in his like mid-50s, who grew up in Murphy Homes. Funny as hell. He drove literally straight from Pennsylvania to Odenton to shoot a scene.
Yeah.
And he was all on time and everything. And he was on point and ready. And he was like,
funny
as hell. He was like, I'm hungry. He's like, I want this. And I had to admire that. Like, I said, okay, you hungry? I'm going to put you in another scene then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He like, cool. And he killed the first scene. So I said, all right, I'm going to make you a sub-character on the show. You got that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like a sub-character like Hustle Man is to Martin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can shine your light and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a funny show, man. I guarantee though, when it come out, it's gonna have y'all crying in tears, like straight up.
Oh, I can't wait. But you all also do commercials. I watched the McDonald's commercial. And I watched the Doritos.
We almost won $1 million off that. We almost won $1 million off of the
Doritos commercial was
the
funny.
Doritos commercial. The Doritos commercial came in like third runner up for the Super Bowl competition.
Wow.
If we had more time,
and
it'd have been a lot more funnier. We was
actually beaten by
the seconds.
we was beaten by the commercial where the woman was giving birth. Remember, she was giving birth.
To the
and
Doritos
she was
bag
like,
or something.
and she was like going through her labor pains, and then a
But
bag
I
of
didn't even
Doritos
like that.
popped out, and he
I
pulled
like
it and
funny.
started eating it.
Yeah, I didn't like that
Yeah,
one.
that beat us, but it was whoever won, you got Ed on the commercial halftime, and you got $1 million.
Oh, wow.
I was like, but it's cool, and that's our message. You don't know.
That's true.
You don't know.
That's true.
Shoot. I tell people all the time, you got a camera, shoot.
Yeah.
If you got a show, they got a concept or a podcast, go
Just
for
do it.
Just
Exactly.
do it.
Right.
I swear, you never know where it could go. I swear.
And that's true. That's absolutely true. I was just telling Rich earlier, I said, no one would have ever believed that I would be in radio.
Right.
I said, I started out doing costume karaoke. I love costumes, so I dress up as anything. So, Bettina was like my favorite character. So, then I said, well, let's draw attention to our brands by doing something different. Let's come up with a concept for a radio show.
Right.
And the rest is kind of like history. And I'm always amazed by the people that I get an opportunity to interview, because I've been doing this here for 2 years. Nobody thought I would be here that long.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but when you have your own ideas and you're passionate about what you do, it doesn't matter what everybody else say, because you see the vision.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They don't see the vision.
Absolutely.
Even if you tell it, and they hate
Exactly.
it, they don't
And
see it.
because of this, you can touch the world.
Exactly.
You can touch the world.
Absolutely.
We hooked up with we got cool with a producer out in Russia, and his name was Darwin, and he makes films out there.
Okay.
So what we did was have him promote for us out there, and we promote for him here. So we got a small little crowd out there in Russia.
That's
That will buy our merchandise. That will,
You're not Russia, Barcelona.
Yes, that's exactly
Barcelona.
right.
Yeah, don't misrepresent him.
You're on the other side of the world.
No, but he was in Russia promoting our stuff
Okay.
too. But he was in Europe. Yeah. So he was over in that area,
Okay.
grinding for us while we grind for him here. So it's just because of that though.
Because of this, exactly.
Because of that. So it's
Yeah.
like my message is, because of the internet, go for it. Go
And
for
that's
it, man.
so true.
Go
Like
for it.
Instagram especially. I get to talk to people from all over the world. We become friends based on what each other do, how we can offer support to one another. I never would have believed that some of the things I've seen would have been possible.
Right.
But it's just like you say.
Absolutely.
It's this thing right
Sky's
here.
the limit, man. That's
Oh,
why I believe
yeah.
it, man. Go for yours.
Exactly.
Don't worry about nobody.
Exactly.
What somebody say negative. Don't worry about none of that stuff. And I remember a message that the guy from Barcelona told me, is that he made 15 films that didn't do well out there, right? But his 16th film, the right person saw it.
See?
You know what I'm saying? And gave him a budget, and now he doing his thing out there. It's of course you want a whole bunch of people to watch you.
Yeah.
But it's also about who's watching. If the
Exactly.
right person just so happens to decide,
Right.
it's over.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
over.
so true,
It's
because you
over.
never know. You know, like
Never
I feel
know.
like I have a platform to give many people an opportunity that may not have the opportunity to go on air.
Right.
So I can offer that.
Grow
And
it.
then not just that, but then I also have here like Baltimore's Black Wall Street event. So I honor different entrepreneurs that may not
Right.
receive an award.
You have
Right.
to.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's
You
like
have to,
no, we
right.
got to put our city on.
Who was the guy from Philly who was doing film that came? He came here.
Yeah,
last
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charles Little. He actually was on the web series called Brotherhood of Silver.
Okay.
That was on YouTube. And then they had like a big premiere, I think in April, that sold out 4 theaters.
Wow.
And they had to add additional dates to it.
That's
So he had like Gilly the Kid as
yeah,
one of the
Gilly.
main
Okay,
characters.
okay.
And Gilly is actually married to my cousin.
Oh wow.
So,
wow. he was down here.
Yeah, and he comes to
he was down
DC
here.
often.
Somebody saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
But
good, funny guy.
you never know who you're gonna touch.
You never.
Right.
Or
So-
me.
And I think
Or
his
me,
story,
exactly.
and because you mentioned, because I think his story was kind of rang similar, because
With
he was
one
from,
of your
he's from
characters.
Philly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's from the street,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody got him into acting,
Absolutely.
and then he just never thought that.
Yeah.
And he caught the bug from it. It's
Once you catch
like
that bug, I'm telling
exactly,
you,
and he
you catch
really
that
is
bug.
good. I'm gonna have to send you his
Yeah.
work. He really
I'm
is
telling
good.
you, catch that bug, you be
Yeah.
And
Wow.
you talk about hungry. That man, he caught the train and
Oh,
from,
yeah.
from Penn Station and came straight here. You know, for
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
That's what you
But
gotta
I
do.
had, and that's
That's
another
exactly what
thing.
you
I
gotta
had
do.
a rapper from New York drive down to actually, and I just inboxed him. I said, "Hey, I like your work. I want to have you on my show." He said, "Let's do it."
You'd be surprised.
Because you just
I'm
gotta
telling
do
you.
it.
I'm
You
gonna
just
need you to
gotta
reach
do
out- I
it.
need you to reach out to Big Daddy Kane. Man.
I'm telling you, you
I think I follow him. I'm
you
gonna
can
do it.
Instagram
Yeah.
him tonight, and I
I
guarantee you, he'll get back to you. He'll
I'm
get back to
telling
you.
I'm telling you.
I had,
Yeah.
I had, man, I'm telling you, if his show didn't, the guy Chuck Creekmer, who was the CEO of AllHipHop.com, who put Charlemagne, the God in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably one of the biggest journalists in hip hop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Great friends. Just reach out. You'd be surprised. Reach out to him.
I
and you
like
be like,
him.
you
Though,
be like,
yeah, I really
you
like him.
wow. And then, DL, I had to go. DL's road manager is like family, so
Okay.
you got to pretty much catch him on the road. You know,
Okay.
if he come into the area, he'll be open to do it, but you just got to go to him.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
that type of thing. But you'd be shocked. I mean,
It's
of course,
true,
you know, like
yeah.
we know the Beyonce. You know, you can't get them. You're not getting them. You know what I'm saying? But the ones who are lukewarm or ones that we grew up of that ain't relevant like that no more,
Right.
you can get
They're
them
still
just like
looking for
that. You can get them just like
Exactly.
that. And we had Positive K on the show, and he dropped some knowledge that he wrote all MC Light music.
Wow.
And I
I
had
never
no
knew
idea.
that.
I never
Yeah.
knew. He wrote all MC Light music, and he said out of his own mouth, I get crazy royalty checks. He said I don't have to do nothing the rest of my life. And I said, wow. You know,
I thought it was impressive that he did the female voice in
I Got a Man.
I Got a Man.
Yeah.
He did that?
Yes.
That was his voice?
I didn't know that
Wicked,
either.
yo. Somebody told me that.
Wow.
I
I thought that was
never
the
knew
real
that.
shit.
Wow.
That was him rapping. He did the female voice in
Wow.
I Got
That's
a Man.
incredible, man. That's incredible, man.
What your man got to do
What
with
your
me?
man got to do with me?
I was like, come on, a
I'm
woman
glad
really
you had that
I mean,
problem.
a woman really gonna
Right,
sound like that?
exactly.
I mean, really, a
Wow.
woman really gonna sound like that?
Right.
I'm surprised. I'm just saying, you know.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
You be shocked, they'll get right back at you. You be like,
Yeah.
that's him.
And,
You know,
and you know what? You maybe it's a theme I'm seeing here. It's like, ain't what? I'm gonna take an original rap line, right? Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right?
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You said just reach out, do it.
I
Yeah,
swear,
and that, but that's
Yeah,
true.
I'm
That's
telling
true.
You will be
You
so
never know.
shocked. You will
Yeah,
be so
I
shocked.
agree.
You
Yeah.
be like Smith and Wesson. Like I used to hear I don't know, you know what Smith and Wesson is. Yeah. So
Like I wouldn't know.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry.
Okay,
But he's a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
You know, Old Town 357, right?
Yeah. Right.
They were short-lived, right?
357 Hammer. Shout out to Hammer.
Right.
But
We'll interview you too, Hammer.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing.
you probably
Don't you say
he
that
just
because he
wrote the-
might listen to that and then decide, hell with them, I'm not
He just
going.
wrote the anthem to he just wrote the anthem to the Oakland Raiders theme song.
Really?
You know, yeah, shot the video for it and all that. I was like,
Who did Smith and Wesson?
no, Hammer.
Hammer.
I said, okay, Hammer, and it's got a rock on. Okay, you know this little
Yeah.
aggressive dancing. But yeah, you be shocked. But he was the dude from Smith and Wesson, still the light skinned one. He was a Steelers fan. You know, he always talk Steelers.
Yeah.
And you know, we Baltimore, that's our
Of
rivalry.
course.
So I started talking trash to him, and then he started talking trash back at me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got cool, and then I said, "Still, man, I want to interview you for our podcast." And he was like, "Okay, all right, let's set it up for this date." Then
Okay.
he didn't come through, but he called me. He said, "Brandon, let's set it up for this date." And then when he called me, it was an hour before they was performing.
Wow.
So he was in the limo talking to me an hour before they performed, and we talked for hours.
Yeah.
We talked about Pac, their relationship with Tupac,
Mm-hmm.
and all that from the get-go. And you'd be surprised, man. These people, publicity, they need it.
They need it, yeah.
You know, especially the ones that's not hot no more.
Mhm.
They'll love the ticket. They'll love the ticket. And they can't guess. And the best thing about it, they can't guess your viewers. They can't be like,
Right.
oh, she only got one viewer. They don't know.
Yeah,
They don't know.
exactly.
You can have a
Exactly.
million.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Mhm.
They'll take it though. They'll take all of the publicity, and
Right,
that's
because
why
it keeps them
I
relevant.
applaud y'all, man. Y'all keep doing it, and just keep doing it, man. You got
Yeah.
a great radio voice too.
He does. He
You got a
definitely
great-
do.
you got a
Yeah.
Great radio voice, man.
That he didn't realize that he could do this. And the thing, you can't be around me. Yeah.
I actually play music. Play
Yeah.
drums, right? So I
Okay.
used to come here and play during the commercial break, and I was just sitting in the corner just watching, right? And she was like, well, "What do you think over there, Quiet Storm?" And
Yeah.
and now I'm
The
here.
rest is
And
history because you can't be
Brought it out of
around
you.
me
Yeah.
and
Brought it
not.
out of you,
I
bro.
seem to bring people out their comfort zone. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, he
Good
was
stuff.
definitely a good addition
Y'all
to the
compliment each other
team.
well,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we'll talk after the show. How do you think this was? So I'm definitely honored to have him.
See, sometimes I get too excited, so I gotta be like, oh, man,
No, let it out.
But and to see when he gets like that, I love it. Like he'll start talking a lot, and you just gotta let him go with it because he's beginning to get more comfortable. So
yeah. That's all it's about.
To say,
y'all talking to me like I'm not even in the room.
You're not just be quiet and listen. Right, exactly. Yeah. Don't look at him. You know.
That's what
and see, Brandon. I met Brandon at Echo, which Quiet Storm used to play the band at Echo too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember seeing
Yeah,
they had the trio.
Yeah. Sure did.
But Brandon was filming. I think just before you all came in, they were just finishing up filming.
Yep, the Seema Wands and McCracken. Hooley and
Knock McCracken out.
You remember?
Yeah. And it was a
Shout out to Hooley
scene,
Shalom.
it was a scene. It was a scene where they was like fighting outside.
Right.
I was calling my boy. I said, "Yo, they doing a show."
And that comes from opening your mouth. And we didn't really know the owner like that.
Mm-hmm.
We ran into him, we talked to him. He said, yeah, because he knows if we shot there and then this show goes all over the world, it brings some publicity.
Is that when John still owned it?
Yeah. Did you talk to John or no? He talked to Aaron.
Oh.
Aaron, that's
Aaron,
his name.
Aaron connected us. He said, "Oh, y'all exchange numbers."
Yeah, sure did. Yep.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Yeah. Oh, you on there?
Aaron's my cousin.
Oh,
so,
is he? Okay, all right. Yeah, Aaron, good people, man.
He is. He definitely is. So.
And I'm telling you, like you said, just do it.
And that's what I've been doing. I say jump, just jump.
Yeah.
You know,
Open
that's
your mouth. I tell people all the
exactly.
time. We sometimes I go to I came out of Milford Mill, so sometimes we would talk to kids and we would tell them like, you just gotta open your mouth. You know, I think one of the things I hate about our people is when people say, I'm gonna be out the way. I'm just on my own tip. I'm gonna be out the way.
I was keep it real.
Yeah. I'm
gonna
do my own thing.
Real.
Yeah. Just they seclude themselves
exactly
because they want, man. I don't do all that. I'm just gonna chill over here.
What do you think that's worth? That's fear. I think
it's fear.
Fear of failure.
It is. Or rejection.
But I failed many times.
You gotta be willing to.
And that's the thing, right? I think it's not a complete failure if you learn something from it.
Absolutely.
If you don't learn anything, then yes, you fail.
Absolutely.
But failure, I feel like, is always an opportunity to learn and reinvent.
Right.
Yeah. So.
It's the best lesson.
Yes,
when
absolutely.
You sit back and say, I failed doing it that way.
Yeah.
Let me think of a new way to do it so that I don't. And that's why I admire and I watch this guy on Instagram, Master P. Master P, that's what he talks about.
Oh my God.
He was like, man, you know how many times I failed?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I failed so many times and then I finally came up with the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it is. We failed so many times. I remember being in high school and we had clothing line, record label, selling T-shirts on the corner, doing all type of things. Where the point where when I got in college, we had cleaning companies, we had all this stuff that I was failing in school because I was doing all this stuff outside of the school. Well, I had to kind of back up, and I said, let me get this done first. You know, shout out to Morgan State, it came out of Morgan, but it's that's what I preach to the kids. You have to speak up. You know what I'm saying? And when I was out LA 3 years ago, me and my man Richard was eating at this Mexican restaurant right there on Hollywood Boulevard, and we were sitting right next to this black family. It was a guy, his wife, and 2 kids. We ended up having to go to the register together. So I'm standing there at the register and I said, "How you doing, sir?" "Yeah, how you doing, man?" And I said, "Doing good." I was like, "First time to LA?" He was like, I think he said, like, yeah, it's my first time. I go with my family and stuff out there like that. And he's like, plus I'm out here for business. So I said, well, what do you do? And he said, I run a program to get people started with ATM machines. Wow. So I said, give me your card. And the rest was history. I was like, called him soon. He's in Dallas. So I called him. I got back to Baltimore, and he was like, all right, man, you got to find a location. And my cousin, she owned a hair boutique up in Philly. Okay. And I called her. She was like, that's cool. So I got a couple of them up there.
Yeah,
and that's slow money, but it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. You know, I get $3 every transaction. You know, so it's great. But it comes from opening your mouth. You know,
and that's
you have to sell yourself. Yeah. You got to show people who you are. You got to sell yourself. Because all of this quiet stuff, I'm gonna just stay there.
It's not going to work.
It don't work in
It's
this
not
society.
going to work. I
Don't
am
work.
always like a in-your-face kind of person. I've probably done every sales job there is imaginable.
Try to say no to this.
It's not.
It ain't happening.
See,
Brandon knows
Yeah.
how long I've been after you.
And I wasn't gonna let you down. I wasn't gonna let you down.
I knew it was going to happen, but
Yeah.
also knew you had a busy schedule. But it is very hard to tell me no because I am very convincing.
And I wasn't.
And it comes
I,
from a good place.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm telling you, I love to see people doing this.
Yeah.
I swear. I'm telling you, I think that's what I promote the most. Is just do it.
Just
go,
do
go
it.
do
Yes,
something.
stop
like
being
I'm
afraid.
not. I don't get into politics.
Mhm.
As far as Trump is concerned. Right?
Okay.
But what he did as far as economy wise, let's just talk about the economy.
Okay.
The lid is off the jaw. Go create something. Hurry up. Go create something. Try to open something up. A LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure out how you can turn your passion into cash.
Yes.
A lot of people be like, I'm trying to think, what idea should I get? People call me up. People call me up or Facebook me like, yo, what's the next investment y'all should? Because I'm also involved in real estate, like flipping houses and stuff like that. So I'm like, you got to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You got to do what you can't go off my idea.
Right.
You can't, because you ain't going to
People
put your
don't
passion
understand
into
that,
it. Yeah.
and that's it.
You ain't going to put your heart into it. Find out what you love
Mm-hmm.
and figure out how you can market it and turn it into cash.
Exactly.
That's
So it
it.
won't seem like a job.
So it don't seem like a job.
Right.
Then you ain't working.
That's
Then you ain't
it.
working.
That's
The
it.
greatest thing that happened to black folks recently, to me, was that Damon Dash interview on the Breakfast Club. Y'all ever seen it?
I gotta pull
Y'all
that
seen
up.
it? You have to watch it. He basically talks about black folks not making any more excuses anymore because of the internet. Get out there, create something.
Mm-hmm.
And he made Envy so mad, and Charlamagne and them so mad, because he told Envy, he said, Envy, you've been in this business since we made Reasonable Doubt. You've been working in this business 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
He said, can you give your son a job here?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no. He said, do you own part of this?
Ooh.
He said, no. He said, that's what I'm saying. Why don't you take the millions of followers that you have
Exactly.
and start your own?
Exactly.
And then you can let your son on the radio when he want to get on the radio.
Right.
Stop making
He said,
excuses.
he said, I don't have to punch on the clock.
Yeah,
You got to punch on the
Yeah,
clock.
he said,
Yeah.
can somebody tell you fired? He said, nobody can tell me that. He said, it's
Yeah.
priceless. He said, that's what I hold priceless to.
Yeah.
And he said, we need to teach our kids not to just say, okay, go to school, get a job. Go beg someone else for the job. No. Teach the school, go to school and create a job.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that interview was so powerful that it disrupted the Breakfast Club for the next 5 interviews.
Oh,
Because they
wow.
kept saying, Did you hear David Dash? He was up here. He was trying to say that we ain't go. And then they had the boy, Boykins, what's his name? Watkins?
Oh, the financial
Yeah,
guy.
the financial guy.
Yeah.
And they thought he was going to be on their side.
Mhm.
So he was like, did you hear what David Dash came up here? He said all this. And Watkins was like, I kind of agree with him.
But he's always educating our community on finances and
That's
leverage.
what we don't know.
Exactly.
That's why I get
And we
upset.
talk about that a lot because we don't prepare these kids when they go out into the world.
Absolutely.
They go to college and come out with all this debt, but we're not teaching
Yep.
them how to leverage themselves to where they don't come out with
Right.
debt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what kills our community
Yep.
every time.
And why isn't that in school?
It should be
it's
in school.
embarrassing why it's
Yeah.
not one class. Just
Mhm.
give it to the seniors.
Yeah.
One class to teach
Yeah.
them some type of financial literacy.
Financial
Because they don't know. We actually born hustlers.
Yeah.
We just choose the wrong product.
But we forget
You know what I'm saying?
we're the product, and I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of times what we don't buy into. Nobody can sell you like you.
Right.
So
right.
whatever you're passionate about, you put you into it. You become that product
Right.
and market it. But we're not teaching these kids that, and I think we're crippling them for when
We
they
are.
go out into the
We
world.
are. It's
Yeah.
go to college, get $100,000 in debt, and my wife's a doctor, right?
Mhm.
And she got like $100,000 in student loans. She pays $600 a month.
Yeah.
You know how long it take her to pay that?
But yeah.
We plan on finding ways to get rid of it. But at the same time, I can't imagine having that bill on my neck for a long time. You know what I'm saying? You know, with a high interest rate like that. So it's like, I honestly would applaud. I do. When we was growing up, my mother went to school, my father went to school, Hampton in Norfolk State. But it was like, go to school, get a job. That's what they was preaching.
That's how they grew up.
That's how they grew up.
Exactly.
But now it's like, I see Tretch from Naughty by Nature. He run a program up there in Jersey where he teaches the kids trades.
Yeah.
Right? So he took one kid who was a plumber. He took another kid who was an electrician. Another one who did the heating system and all that stuff. Roofing.
Yeah.
He grouped them together and bought them a crib. A rundown joint for like 5 G's. Got them to fix it up themselves, get incorporated, flip it, and now them dudes doing well.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's other ways other than
is other ways of doing things.
If you need to go to college,
then so be
my friend told me a long time about his son. He said, "I'm not gonna finance a question mark." All right, and what he meant by that is, I'm not financing my son to go to school so he can try to figure out what he want to do. While I'm paying $30,000 and $40,000 and $50,000.
Right.
He said, "Look, if you want to be a doctor, engineer, stuff like that, cool. I'm with it.
Exactly.
But I ain't going. I'm not sending him to school to be like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. You know. So it's kind of that thing's for real.
It's for
that
real.
For real.
Yeah, it's definitely for real. They come out with the college debt and credit card debt.
Oh my God.
You know. Yeah, because I feel like the banks target
They
college
do.
kids.
All the time.
Yeah.
They gonna misuse it.
Exactly. They're so excited. I got this $1,000 limit. Oh yeah, we're going to the club. Oh yeah, I gotta buy me an outfit. You know.
And then pay your credit card off.
Yeah.
As soon as you pay your credit card off, everybody comes. You get a whole bunch of mail.
Oh my God.
Hey,
yes.
hey, you want this credit card?
Exactly.
Come get it.
And it's hard to say no if you're not taught. Because
It
you're
is.
looking at it like free money until that bill comes. So
Right.
It's like you do what you can. Like my daughter, she's in school,
Mhm.
and on the down low, I open up a credit card in her name.
You have to.
Right.
You have to.
And
Build a credit.
I built a credit before she even knew. And then when I presented to her, credit score was 720.
Exactly.
yeah, see,
And that's what we gonna do. That's what you gotta do.
you have
You
to
have to
do
do it.
that. Oh my God.
You gotta
yes.
build your children's credit.
Yes,
Build it up.
yes,
You
yes.
don't have
And
to
don't
know.
be getting things in your children's credit. Let me just put that out there too.
Right. Be responsible.
Be responsible.
Buy something, pay it off.
Right.
Don't buy
Right.
all those bunch of other stuff.
I shouldn't be applying for something
Right.
and then my BG&E come up in collections and I ain't never have a BGE in my name
Absolutely.
as far as I knew.
Absolutely.
You know, we got to stop doing that, black folk.
Be responsible. Be responsible.
Be responsible. Yeah, we owe it to our community.
And GoFundMe is not insurance.
No,
It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not
Ain't
life
it?
insurance.
Don't they act like it is?
Oh
They be
my
like, so-and-so
God.
just died. Let's start a GoFundMe for life insurance.
Yes.
Like, get them
Oh
buried.
my
Like,
God. That's
oh my
another
God.
thing. I mean, we don't even want
Gotta
to
take that
buy
seriously, man.
insurance.
Gotta take that seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you got a family.
And we say that in jest, but it's some serious
It's real.
talk. It's
Yeah.
some really serious knowledge
Right.
that these guys are dropping here. You know, this is awesome. I mean, the things that y'all remind me of, you know, Renaissance man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
you can relate. Y'all can relate on every level.
Right.
You know,
Right. Absolutely.
and at the same time, you're empowering yourselves and the people that you touch. So,
Absolutely.
you
You
know,
have to
commend
pass the
you.
information down.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell people all the time, you know, I can give you the ball, but you still gotta
You
dribble
got
it
it,
though.
exactly.
You still gotta dribble it.
Yeah.
You still gotta run with it. And I think one of the things that probably just get to me a little bit is, you know, people do stick close to me with wanting to know the information, and I give it, and they still don't run with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to be like, just like I said, just do it. I didn't know nothing about real estate. I didn't know anything about real estate. I ran into one of my old coaches. He ran Mike Brown. Shout out to Mike Brown. He ran a prison aid program down the street, right down the street. He ran a prison aid program. He said, Brandon, go get a house, put it in my program. I'll pay you this. So I ain't know nothing. I saved up $2,500. bought a little $50,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
The mortgage was only $450, $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
He paid me $14.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He paid me $1,400 a month. Mortgage is only $450.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that guy, I know nothing about real estate.
Okay.
But once you jump in it, it's like going to high school for the first time. you like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna fit in. I don't know how I'm gonna do. But once that first week or 2 weeks of school go by, you be like, oh,
I got this. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Just Do It comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, you just gotta do it. You gonna realize how much strength and power you really have.
That's true.
So tell me the meaning behind your name, because you mentioned it's the
Watts
Yeah.
Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, we own things to succeed, which means we promote entrepreneurship, we promote ownership. But like I said, we promote individualism.
Mm-hmm.
We promote just do it.
Yeah.
We gotta change the people, man. We gotta stop looking for a politician to save us. We gotta stop looking for a white man. We gotta stop looking for and when I talk politics, we the only race that is begging another race for acceptance or whatever. You don't see a bunch of Asians in the election line. You don't see you don't see a bunch of Jews in the election line. They don't care.
Yeah.
Why they don't care? Because they got their own money. They got their own community. So if the only way black folks is gonna get out of this is we have to. I know it's cliche. I know everybody. Oh, that's what they always say. We have to build this up.
But I think black people don't understand the power they have.
We
I think that's
do.
the biggest.
We do.
The biggest issue that I have, because no group
As
has the
strong as
buying
us.
power
Nobody's
that we
strong
have.
as
I
us.
mean, you're talking $1.3 trillion.
I know.
How can we be in this state
Exactly.
having that kind of buying power?
We're the
I don't
biggest-
think we would have police brutality.
You know how long?
You know?
You know how long the average? I mean, the dollar stays in the black community?
Probably
5 seconds.
45 minutes.
Absolutely.
Is it that long?
Asians
Yep.
are the longest, 21 days, where that dollar circulates with
It's
businesses.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's very,
It's
yeah, it
embarrassing.
really is.
It's
I
no
mean,
reason in the world.
45 minutes.
Just think about the method of foreigners. They're being taught over there to cook fried chicken.
yeah, target the black community.
Target the black
Because
community.
they're gonna support you
And
because
then
they support their own.
They get better. They get loans faster than Americans.
And that's another
Just
thing that
to-
I try to tell people.
Yeah, they get them faster, so they put up shops all day, feeding us,
Yeah.
feeding our people.
You familiar with the Milford area, right?
Yeah. Woodlawn, yeah.
You about to say like, hip hop chicken and
No. I'm from the Caribbean.
But that
Okay.
Caribbean supermarket over there on the corner of
Milford.
Milford, yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Asians. On there.
Lion.
You can
I
get,
did not know that.
yeah, we go in and I go in there because I can get the stuff from back home when I really want to cook my, you know what I mean?
I did not know
And it's
that.
so funny, right? The first time I've been in there, I had a Jamaican friend sent me in there, and I was like, man, they got callaloo, they got this. I'm all excited about, and I was like, and I said, it's owned by Asians. She's like,
Wow.
How they know what we want? We talking about
They
when you
study
go
us.
in there, when you go in there,
Exactly.
it's like a market,
Mhm.
like we back home.
Wow.
There
I
is
never
another
knew
one.
that.
There's another one down on Park Heights, which is
Mhm.
similar but not as big.
Mm.
You know, so that's
Owned
their
by
company.
Asians?
No,
Oh.
this is actually owned by a black people.
Oh,
Because that was the one we always went to.
Yeah.
But this one's, you know, is a larger one. But you know, I'm big on supporting local businesses,
Mhm.
anything local.
Right, absolutely.
But man, I mean, I wish that we had more resources
Absolutely.
in the community, because again, I always tell a story about the fact that our money. I live out in Howard County, and it's a area where there's a lot of Korean, right? So they're behind close to Turf Valley.
Okay.
They got a shopping center. They got a bank. They have a Korean bank, you know, that's straight. That's sitting there. Our branch sitting out there. And my son has Asian friends, which are great kids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they all growing up
Absolutely.
together, right? But I'm like looking at, if I take my kid on an errand with me on a Saturday and I'm doing my regular stuff, I'm going to a grocery store, I'm going to doing my daily routine.
Mhm.
The difference is my son's not seeing people like me
Mhm.
who I'm doing business with his
Absolutely.
Asian friends. go to mathnasium, they go into a bank, they go into a clinic, they go into a coffee shop,
Absolutely.
and he's seeing people, men, who looks like him, doing business, doing everyday business.
Yeah, it hurts, man. It hurts because I mean, how long are we gonna keep using this as an excuse? You know, it's like, how long do we keep going? How long?
Because I even trip off. Not to cut you.
No,
off.
go ahead.
I trip off of like, not to say I don't like. I like hip hop chicken.
Yeah,
and
I
fish,
do too.
But I trip off how you call it hip hop chicken and fish. You don't even play no hip hop.
Exactly.
And, you know, you don't play no hip hop in there. It's not one brother back there cooking any chicken. And I'm in here like, damn. So they called it this. They called it this name just for us to come in here and get them and make them money.
They study us.
Yeah.
Well, the first hip hop I went to, the lady had one leg, and I thought they named it after her hip hop.
See, I'm not messing with you.
I'm like,
by the way, that's how comedian.
I'm like, word?
I'll be here all night,
Yeah.
tipping waitresses and waiting.
I'm about to be like, I know her.
See?
It's bad.
Well, Aaron says, are any of the Asian friends allowed to come out and play, or do they have to stay in and do math homework all day? Which is a very excellent point.
They come out after they do the math from same like my son, because my son, that's his crew, right?
Yeah.
Keep him with him.
And he's
That's
like,
right.
and he's doing the same thing they're doing.
Right.
You know,
keep him with him.
yeah,
Trust
me.
I'm telling
Keep him
you.
with him.
Your surroundings play a part in everything.
Yeah,
The people that
that's
surround
true.
Yeah,
you.
he's in 5th grade doing 7th grade GT. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Absolutely.
like I said, just trying to keep
Yeah.
him motivated.
Mhm.
But I would like to, like I said, I try my best to, you know, like with kids, you just have to, don't tell them what to do. You have to show them. You know,
Yeah,
so he just,
that's absolutely.
so he goes everywhere I go. Yeah, I got gigs and stuff like that.
Because he wants to be
He's with.
he idolizes you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do.
You
know,
want them
but-
that diverse balance, like, you know what I'm saying, and that is a thing, because if any kid is growing up with, because kids don't see color.
He wants to learn
That's
Chinese
true.
and Korean.
Wow, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are his, you know, and he's already seeing that. You know what I mean? Because he's
It's all about what they exposed to.
Right.
That's
I'm
absolutely.
definitely, yeah, but
And that's great. That's great to have him with you, showing them things, because I'm telling you, a kid is only gonna become what you expose them to. You know, like we got cousins that I think they've been out of Baltimore one time, and they our age.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
which is crazy,
Yeah.
because a lot of the friends that I grew up with had never been on a plane or
It's
anything.
sick.
And we grew up in the hood, but I took piano lessons. My brother played drums because my parents didn't believe that we had to be a product of our environment.
Right.
So it starts with your parents.
It
I mean,
does.
they have
It
to
does.
expose you
It
to
does.
different things, because
Right.
if not, and that's all you see, you think that's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Have your kid saying, "Daddy, how does that work?" Or, "Daddy, what is that?" What is that?
Exactly.
Show him, expose him, because
Mhm.
you don't think he's paying attention. He's paying
Oh, yes.
attention.
Oh, yes.
He's like, when my son asked me the other night, he said, "Daddy, where you going?" And I said, "Well, we got to shoot this movie." And he said, "Dad, can I come?" And I said, "Yeah, but you're sick right now, and I know your mother's gonna kill me for taking you out."
Right.
But I said, I'll take you, in a couple of days. So when I had him there yesterday when we was filming, he holding the monitor.
Excited.
He all excited. He
Yeah.
like, and then the day he like, "We gonna go back and shoot him." I said,
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah,
But you
it's-
have to expose
How old
him.
is he?
Yeah.
He's 5.
Yeah,
He's 5.
yeah. And it's funny because my boy's 10, and he get like he was on a mission this week, this summer to get a PlayStation. Right? So of course that was his money,
motivation.
Right?
Yeah,
He would text me, "Do we got a gig today?" I'm like,
That's
"Man,
right. That's a
what you
young
do."
entrepreneur.
But he's doing my sound check.
Yeah.
I was like, "Go out there and tell me if you hear the levels." He said, "Well, turn the bass up," and
Yep.
so I'm teaching him everything.
Okay.
And he sits there and he pulls his weight.
Teaching him how to earn.
Yep.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
teaching him how to earn, man.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
My son is still too. He actually plays in the McCracken show. So he
Okay.
plays in a
Yeah.
few scenes, and he wanted to do it. Dad, I want to do it. He did a good job, remember his lines and everything. And I was like, all right, this is something that you you want to do, let's rock out. And also expose him to tennis. He plays tennis, and I don't know nothing about that game. It's something that
that's something that's an empowerment.
Right.
And like I said, like you guys preach, it's like it's no limits.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's no roof. It's no roof on your head, man.
Yeah.
My father, Tay never took this serious, but my father taught me at 12 how to play golf. All right. I'm all American football player at this time. I don't care about this stuff, so I didn't care about it. But he still laid that foundation.
Right.
I play the game almost every other week, every
Wow.
other day. And the thing about it is, it puts you in. I play with, like I said, with DL. I played with Catherine Puter, a few times. I play with Vaughn Green all the time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These are the people you will meet.
Right.
Oh
yeah, that's where the biggest deals are made.
Prime example, me and my friend Juan, we went out one day, and you got to play in fours, all right? Well, you don't have to, but if it's two people standing at the start, and you only have two, they group you all together just to keep the pace of the course, right? So these two white guys were standing up there, and they was like, "We gonna put y'all with them." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. That's how you meet 18 holes. You meet somebody.
Yeah.
You really meet somebody over 5 hours."
Absolutely.
This guy, we played with. We kill him. We having a good time. We destroy him. You know what I'm saying? So come to find out, he was the COO of Verizon. You know what I'm saying? He was only in town for meetings, and he was playing golf after the meetings, this and that. And then when we finished the round, he said, "Brandon, what's your phone number? Because if our boys don't show up tomorrow, we playing on Diamond Ridge. I'm gonna call you." It didn't happen, but look what could have happened.
Right,
you see what I'm saying? What could have happened?
Yeah.
Could have been like, "Brandon, come on out here." Then we could have got more acquainted. And then it would have been exchange of numbers. Then it would have been like, "Brandon, you need a job."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or your son need a job. I mean, you never know.
You got to build them relationships, though.
That's funny. When I was at Verizon, one of my mentors said, "Man, got to stop playing golf." He said, "You can't be in the game unless you play the game."
Exactly.
So
exactly.
From there, when my girls were young, I put her in first tee. And they learned how to, that's when Tiger Woods was funding all these African Americans.
Yeah.
Man, she had like a 6-week golf lesson for like 12 hours.
Wow.
Beautiful, man.
I don't know how
You have to, you got to expose them to that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's all about, like you said.
So do you find yourself playing the game, learning how to play things their way, or you still, because there's always an element of, okay, well, let's do our own thing. So speak about that, because even that whole concept is like, okay, we're playing the game to get into the game.
As far as golf is concerned, I really try to beat them.
Because I actually like the game.
I love it.
I really like
I'm not gonna lie. Me and this guy, we played down James Moser baseball down West Side Emerson. Grew up in that. Played football. I played college ball. I mean, all of that. Golf is my favorite sport.
Okay.
Golf is my favorite sport.
Yeah.
I would never thought that
Me either. Golf is my favorite sport. It puts you in circles of people you never met, old or young, and then you spending 5 hours with this person and you learning them.
Yes.
And you gain a relationship with them. And then on top of that, you like, it's still competition. I want to beat these guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just, and it's also a game where it's only a game. You know how in basketball, you can miss 4 shots, right? And you be like, all right, no, let me just keep shooting to get my stuff together. You miss 4 straight shots in golf, you're pissed off, yo. Like, it can ruin your day.
It's such a mental game.
It's such a mental game.
Process.
It's such a mental game, and you wonder why Tiger can come in first this week and last in the next week. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough game, but that's why all the athletes play it after they finish whatever they're doing. So it's I know y'all gotta go. When we get caught up in this.
But we're like this every week. I think when we had Marvin from Umar Boxing on here, we went past 9 o'clock because we were getting all this boxing knowledge. Tell people where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Facebook. It's Brandon Thompson. Instagram BTHOMP 19. And that's where you can find me. But we will, like I said, Torture is going to be on cable TV in Atlanta.
Okay.
But they are coming out developing an app that you can, people from all over the world can download the app so you can watch it You know, not just the people who can be, you know,
Right.
watching down there. So I will provide all y'all with the information. Just follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I will update you because they didn't give me dates. It's coming soon, but they like, Brandon, we don't want it out.
Right.
I know you going. He
You
told me
get
the
excited.
date. He told me the date. He said, Brandon, sometimes you get too excited and you tell on social media, and so we're not gonna tell you. So I'm like, damn. All right, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all can find me there, follow me there, and then you know we'll update you on what's going on.
Yeah, get me on Facebook, Tate Thompson, TAI Thompson, Instagram, Tate Thompson. Yeah, just reach out to us and we see what we got.
Rising star here, very talented brothers.
Very
So
talented.
they're
Very
already
talented.
stars,
Yeah.
you know.
Thanks, bro.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna get an exclusive when this big project.
Yeah.
hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, absolutely.
Gotta take it home.
So,
Yeah.
I want a small role like.
You can get it.
Yeah.
I was just trying to
With that
help
voice,
myself.
with that voice, you can get it. You can get it.
Exactly.
I could be a waiter or something.
You
right?
got a money making voice,
Yeah.
man. You gotta
Exactly.
utilize that, brother. I'm telling you,
Everybody
man.
do a scene for the McCracker show with him on the radio.
I'm with
And
it.
y'all be the host and,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe he might get a rude, crazy caller that call in a female or somebody to put him on blast on the radio station.
I would love
There's-
that.
there's a-
There you go. That's a concept right there.
Exactly.
I think that'd be
You never
right.
stop thinking. You never stop
Yeah,
thinking.
but I love that
Yeah.
though, and I'm like you. I'm usually up late because I'm writing stuff down, and I'm like,
Right.
oh shit, let me go to bed. Oh, let me just write one more thing
Right,
down
right,
because
right,
I'm gonna
right.
forget it.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
Absolutely, we'll do that. We'll
Yeah,
keep in
it'll be
contact.
real
you know.
funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good, man.
This was really
y'all-
nice. I
y'all-
loved it. Y'all welcome to come back
We come back
anytime.
anytime.
appreciate it. I
We
appreciate
love-
y'all.
we love it.
Definitely.
We love it,
Yeah.
man. We support our people and just encourage y'all to keep going, man.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
That's
Get
what
Kane.
we're
I'm
doing.
telling you, get Kane on the phone.
I'm on it.
Get him.
I'm
get him.
on it.
Oh man, you can get him. Yeah, you
I'm
can
on it.
Get him.
Yeah, I'm
all the
on
ones
it.
that we grew up off of.
Mhm.
Well, guys, thanks for the inspiration. Thanks
Yep.
for, because it's like what you guys infused with us. I mean, we doing our thing, mainly Jackie, but
Us.
just hearing, y'all energy, man,
Right.
it means a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad our listeners were able to do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We love you guys.
This is good. I'm gonna send you all the YouTube
My man.
version of the show.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you all tuning in.
All
Have a
right.
good night.